Hey everybody, how are you? It's good to see you again. My name is James Caldwell, and this is another episode of I'm Just Saying. I'm coming to you today. Again, I want to talk to you about a movie remake. Today, I want to talk about one of my favorite movies, actually, which is Carrie. The book came out in 1974. Stephen King, one of my favorite writers. Love it, love it, love it. 1976 is when the movie came out. The movie is actually it's about the story about a young girl. She's a senior in high school. Her name is Carrie White. Carrie White uh, is really a strange girl. She's not very well liked at school because of the fact that she is strange. She doesn't talk very much. Um, she's a real introvert, if you will, and she has this reputation for having this crazy mother, Margaret White. In the original, Piper Laurie actually plays Carrie White's mother, Margaret, and the role of Carrie is actually played by Sissy Spacek. Um, Wonderful casting. So I'll just start right there by telling you there will never be another Carrie other than Sissy Spacek. Period. Um, this Chloe Grace Moretz, who played Carrie in the remake. There's a remake. There's two remakes actually. There was one in 2002, which was kind of like a made for TV thing. So whatever. Then we have the one in 2013 that came out, and this is where Chloe actually played Carrie. There will only ever be one Carrie, and that is Sissy Spacek. So just understand that and know that. Piper Laurie is the only Margaret White that we will ever have. And I love Julianne Moore, but Julianne Moore, and I think by no fault of hers, I think they actually did some changing of the character and the way that they actually portrayed her in the remake of the movie. So anyway, back to the movie. The whole thing of the movie is Carrie's not very well liked, that kind of thing. The teenagers, they get together and they decide to play this really bad joke on her. The hottest boy in school, they go and they have him, you know, he ends up taking her to the prom. It's like a big joke. And then they fix the ballot so that he and her will actually become prom king and queen. And they have this whole thing set up. Now, the date doesn't really know this, though, but they killed a pig, took the pig, drained its blood, put it into a pail, put the pail up in the rafters, and then whenever he and her come up on stage to accept their prom king and queen business, they dump the bucket of blood on Carrie. Is what I suppose that's how things were supposed to go. Only one other thing about Carrie is a bit telekinetic. So what she ends up doing, she can move things if she concentrates hard enough. She can move things with her mind. She ends up turning the prom out, and a lot of people died. A lot of people lost their life and everything like that. So that's what everybody knows about Carrie. When you think of Carrie, or they mention Carrie, the first thing people think about is the prom and how the prom got all tore up. So that's that. So the story basically kept really the same all the way through. The only thing I had a problem with is the cars and things like that, and the houses and the clothes and things. And the movie stayed along with the 1970, early 80 thing. But then they had like social media and stuff. I'm like, ridiculous. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Just let it go. Because then you just confuse things. But anyway, so that's the only thing that really kind of changed. They end up most of the differences are at the end of the movie. Um, with what we do this a lot. When they remake these movies, they automatically make it more gory than what it was originally. So of course they did that. With the deaths and the way that these people were dying and all that kind of thing. That's fine. But let me explain something to you. When you think of Carrie, again, like I said, you think of the prom scene. Trust me, the prom scene is by no way the climax of the Carrie movie. The climax is Carrie's interaction with her mother when she gets back home. She walks home from the prom, drenched in blood. She's killed all these people. She gets into the house with her mother, and then her and her mother basically go at it. Okay. And long story short, Carrie ends up destroying herself and her mother, and basically implodes their house upon them and into the ground when they both die. That's basically the end of the movie. But just the interaction between her and her mother is what is the best thing about the movie Carrie. You have to catch it. There's so many lines in there where it actually just small lines where you see how crazy the mother is, and that is what actually brings the story to life. And this didn't come through with Julianne Moore because again, Julianne Moore, the way she was cast was more like she was afraid of Carrie, and she thinks that Carrie is the Antichrist. Well, that was the same across the board, but she's more afraid of Carrie. Carrie's mother in the original Piper Laurie was not afraid of Carrie. She was afraid of nothing more than God's wrath. That's what she was afraid of. She was so crazy with it. She's like this real crazy Bible Jesus freak, and she would say just the craziest things. Like she would call her breast dirty pillows. I can see your dirty pillows. She's real crazy, and she was the spookiest thing actually about the movie, really itself. Um, she blamed Carrie having sinful thoughts. She blamed her period, literally, on her having sinful thoughts, saying that that's why she was cursed with the curse of blood because she had sinful thoughts. Just craziness. But you know how people take the Bible and turn it around and use it for controlling methods. That's basically what she was doing. Oh, and then she would give her, after the blood comes the boys, because she wanted to go to the prom. Just about crazy whore. And she just went on and she went on. Then she told her, and this was one of the best things. Other people, a lot of people will remember this, the line from the movie. They're all gonna laugh at you. They're all gonna laugh at you. When the blood falls down on Carrie's head, and then they have this whole thing, and her mother had told her everybody was gonna laugh at her. That comes back to her, and they do a split screen, and it's just saying, they're all gonna laugh at you. They're all gonna laugh at you. Then show everybody laughing, and it's swirling around her head, which I don't know whose idea that was to put in that original movie, but it's damn hilarious. They took that out. They took that out. And me and the person that I went to the theater with to see it, we were actually looking for it. So we were pissed because we had been waiting from the beginning of the film so we could laugh with, they're all going to laugh at you. But so they took that out. So I was pissed off about that. The the end scene, which I feel is basically really the climax, when she comes home, she takes a bath, cleans herself up. She basically goes to her mother and tells her mother that, you were right, this, that, thing, and the other. Well, by this time, crazy ass Margaret White has decided that she was going to kill Carrie. So she gets that whole thing going. Um, they kind of changed some of the dialogue. And again, like I said, Julianne Moore was more like she was afraid of Carrie. So she was like, okay, let me just do this and get rid of her. Piper Laurie again was not afraid, so she ends up with Piper Laurie in the original ends up going through the whole thing of how Carrie's dad and her were living in sin, and they slept in the same bed, and they never touched each other. And then she goes into this whole thing, which is hilarious, hilarious. Now you have to. She has this fried hair, just think, the '70s, and it's big, and she's pretty pale, crazy as shit, and she's on her knees telling Carrie, you know, we slept in the same bed uh, for the first year, and he never touched me. And then he came in the one day, and I seen how he was looking down at me with that crazy look in his eye. And then she said, then the stink of that filthy roadhouse liquor on his breath. And then he took me. And she's going on and on and on. She has this accent, and it's just hilarious. Like that's like my favorite part of the movie, and I'm like screaming. So I'm waiting on all this damn craziness to come, and here they cut all this. They cut all. I mean, she was so deep. She's given like, all the dirty touching of his hands all over, and she's just carrying on. None of that's in there. Julianne Moore is going on about something else, and anyway, long story short, she tries to kill Carrie, tries to stab her. Carrie basically pins her to the wall with every sharp utensil in the kitchen, which was the way that it was supposed to be. Now, in the new one, she just kind of stabbed her mother, and that was it. In the original, She literally, her mother was in the form of a crucifix in the doorway, which was fabulous. It was fabulous symbolism for all of the craziness that would go on because she used to actually lock the girl in a closet when she was younger and everything like that and make her pray. So the symbolism and all of that, and then just the visual of her literally being hung in the crossway like she was on a crucifix, just like Jesus was, and all of the things being flung at her. It was wonderful, and I don't know why they changed that. That was like perfect. It was perfect. Um, then the other differences, they made Carrie into more of like a witch kind of thing. It was doing too much. Carrie, her hands, when she tore up the prom, her hands were always straight at her side. She never moved her hands or anything. So it was given, they always focused in on her eyes. And she would turn and she would look and she'd give that, and then something would happen, and she's looking in that direction. That was scary. That worked. That worked. It was a small thing. Yeah, it's an acting thing. It was a small thing, but it was perfect. Honey, in this one and the new one, they gave her all of this X-Men business, and she's doing all this and carrying on, giving Halle Berry a storm. Ridiculous. So I didn't care for that either. And the biggest thing that made me want to, and I literally wanted to walk out of the theater, when she began to walk out of she literally walks off the stage and out of the gymnasium. The gymnasium is just on fire, and literally in the original there was nobody. Everybody was dead except for about maybe 11 people who actually made it out. There was all kind of people who made it out in this one. I said, where did the body count go? She didn't walk out of the gym. She literally levitated out of the gym. She's like floating through the air. I was done. I was done. I was pretty pissed at that point. I really wanted to walk out, but I said I have to see, how this ends. But that was just totally out of order as far as I was concerned. She levitated out. They did make her more of like this witch. At the end, she's like literally, she's telling some girl that this girl came in the house and she told her that she was pregnant and she needed sex to the baby and all of this. I, what does that have to do with telekinesis? They literally made her into more like a witch. So I didn't care for that at all. I thought that again was unnecessary. So again, here we go. We have this movie. It's an epic fail because you've tried to update it so much to be able to make it more gory, and it didn't work. It was an epic fail. 1976, the original version of Carrie. It's a classic. Anytime I see it on television, I watch it. And you should too, because the new one didn't do too well with me. But again, that's my opinion. And I'm just saying, that's how I felt. I didn't think it worked out. But I would love you to leave comments and let me know what you thought about the remake of Carrie. And again, I'll be back with you guys again soon. Soon as something else comes up on me that I need to talk about. But definitely, I would love to know what you guys think. Leave me a comment. And if you need to send me an email, my email is whenjcspeaks at msn.com. Whenjcspeaks at msn.com. Thank you guys for clicking on the video and listening to me go on and on about this movie. And I will see you guys again soon. Take care. Bye bye.